call it a hobby, I call it a way of life. No way that you can stop me. You know that I've been training, right? The more you try to block me, the more that I control the fight. And now you on the ropes, now you on the ropes. What you gon' do? Quitting's not an option. That voice in your head that keeps telling you you got this lied to you, and now everybody's watching. You should've worked a little harder, cause man, your punches are garbage. Started as a dream, grew into reality. Made a lot of sacrifices, that's how it has to be. I give it everything I got, ain't no way you passing me. I know we're in the same profession, but you're not a match for me. I'm on another level, I'm on another level. I said I'm on another level, on another level.
To open the 2017 season, the Presidents hosted number 23 St. John Fisher. St. John Fisher led by a 7-0 count after one quarter, by way of a 3-yard Ryan Ingerson touchdown, 10 minutes 40 seconds into play. The first 15-minute period was dominated by the Cardinals, who outgained W&J 155-24 and held the ball for 11 minutes 17 seconds. The first play of the second quarter was another Cardinals touchdown, pushing their lead to 14-0 at 14 minutes 53 seconds. W&J's next possession ended in a 3-and-out, but then senior John Loper jumped on a Cardinals fumble to give W&J the ball back in Fisher territory. The Presidents converted the turnover into 3 points as freshman kicker Mauricio Garibay booted a 28-yard field goal in his debut to get W&J on the board 14-3. The Cardinals missed a field goal on their next possession, which led to W&J driving 77 yards in 8 plays. As Rouse hit Barnes for the first touchdown of the year, a 19-yarder, to bring W&J within 14-10.
Nice ass catch.
After the defense forced a 3-and-out, Zubik caught his first score of the season. And 38th of his career to give W&J its first lead, 16-14. A second missed field goal by the Cardinals ended the half. The second play from scrimmage on W&J's first possession of the second half saw West race 52 yards for a touchdown to stretch the lead to 23-14. Cardinals came back with 2 touchdowns of their own to get themselves back in the lead. The Presidents trailed 27-23 heading into the 4th quarter, but West's second score of the day was from 7 yards out and gave W&J the lead back for good at 30-27 with 10 minutes 20 seconds to play.
George West in for the President's touchdown.
The visitors mustered just 4 yards on 3 plays when they got the ball back, and Rouse marched W&J down the field, which set up a 1-yard touchdown run by Matt Heslop, the first of his career. The next 2 times the Cardinals got the ball ended in interceptions. The first by O'Shea Anderson, and the last coming with 2 minutes 8 seconds to play by Murgo to seal the victory. The Presidents travel to Grove City next.
37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 28, 26, 27, 40, 30, 31.
In a Week 2 non-conference game, W&J jumped on Grove City early and did not look back.
There it is.
Zubik went over 100 yards receiving in the first half and scored the first 2 touchdowns of the game to put W&J ahead 14-0. He went in from 17 yards out at the 10-minute 13-second mark of the first half, and then again from 47 yards 2 minutes 3 seconds later. West needed just 15 touches to account for 77 yards from scrimmage and a trio of scores. At 4 minutes 15 seconds of the first quarter, West rushed in from 14 yards out and then corralled an 11-yard reception for a score at 9 minutes 34 seconds of the second quarter.
Pass from Rouse complete to West. It is an 11-yard completion.
Make a pre-sign.
Nice. Ball, get it out! Good job! Get ready! Oh, he's shoulder, he's done.
He capped an 11-play, 80-yard drive with a 1-yard run to score with 36 seconds left in the first half as the number 23 Washington and Jefferson football team jumped out to a 35-0 halftime lead. Senior quarterback Alex Rouse hit senior wide receiver Kyle Peterson for the latter's first career score from 11 yards out. At the 8-minute 44-second mark of the third quarter to give W&J a 41-0 margin. The final points of the day for the Presidents came at the 6-minute 3-second mark of the third period when sophomore quarterback Jacob Adams and senior wide receiver Benjamin Waugh connected for the first touchdown for both, making the score 47-0. Grove City managed a late score, but on the afternoon, the W&J defense held the Wolverines to 264 yards of total offense, including just 67 yards on the ground, and forced 4 turnovers. Improving their record to 2-0, W&J will host current number 18 Thomas More next in the official PAC Conference opener for both teams.
45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1!
In the final scheduled meeting on the gridiron, number 18 Washington and Jefferson squared off with Thomas More under the lights at Cameron Stadium. Trailing 10-0 after one quarter, Rouse and Zubik hooked up twice from 29 and 77 yards to give W&J a 12-10 lead midway through the period.
Rouse's pass is complete to number 87, Jesse Zubik.
The Saints made a field goal with under 2 minutes left in the half and held a 13-12 lead at intermission. as both teams turned the ball over twice in the opening 30 minutes.
Rouse's pass is complete to Jesse Zubik for the touchdown.
Rouse dialed up Zubik's number for 3 scores in the third quarter, as the Presidents scored all 19 points of the period to open up a 31-13 lead. Thomas Moore scored a touchdown on the first play of the fourth quarter and added another touchdown at 10 minutes 1 second to get within 31-26. With 5 minutes 27 seconds remaining, Zubik once again found pay dirt, this time from 37 yards out, making the score 37-26. Senior quarterback Alex Rouse completed 32 of 46 passes for 482 yards and 6 touchdowns, all of which went to senior wide receiver Jesse Zubik, who finished with 11 receptions for 322 yards and 6 scores, shattering previous W&J and President's Athletic Conference records in the process. 8 Presidents recorded at least 5 tackles on defense as well, as W&J improved to 3-0 overall and 1-0 in the conference. The Presidents will be idle next week before welcoming Teal to Cameron Stadium.
36, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 28, 25, 24, 25, 26, 27,
Returning to action after a week off, W&J welcomed Teal to Cameron Stadium in a game that saw their offense explode, racking up 579 total yards. Heslin kicked off the scoring on W&J's first drive that gave W&J a 7-0 lead after 4 minutes 28 seconds had elapsed. The Presidents got the ball back quickly, and the second play from scrimmage saw Vicklis rip off a 71-yard carry for a score.
Justin Nicholas in for the touchdown for the President.
Let's go, Mike!
The third W&J possession resulted in the President's third touchdown of the evening. Benjamin Waugh carried in the two-point conversion attempt. And gave the Presidents a 21-0 lead. After the ensuing possession saw the quarter change, and Teal hold the ball for 6 minutes 44 seconds and kick a field goal, W&J needed just 3 plays before Rouse found Cody Hurst for an 11-yard score to take a 27-3 lead.
Rouse's pass is complete to Cody Hurst for a President's touchdown.
W&J found the end zone again after a 46-yard pass from Rouse to Zubik helped set up a 3-yard scoring rush by Heslin.
Matt Heslin carries in for the President's touchdown.
The Presidents forced a 3-and-out on the next Teal drive and got the ball back, with Vickless doing all the work by carrying twice, once for 36 yards and then a 2-yard score, giving the Presidents the halftime lead of 41-3.
Justin Vickless in for the President's touchdown.
It was more of the same to start the second half, as W&J embarked on a 7-play, 45-yard drive, capped off by a 2-yard Heslin run to extend the margin to 48-3.
Heslin sweeps into the end zone for a W&J touchdown.
A 1-yard fourth-quarter scoring rush, the first of Ron Tuck's career, capped the scoring at 14 minutes 55 seconds of the fourth quarter, leaving the final score 55-3. By the end, the W&J defense had held Teal to under 200 yards of total offense, having 1 fumble recovery, 7 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. The Presidents travel to Pittsburgh next for a kickoff at Carnegie Mellon.
Let's go. 55,
54, 53, 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 44, 45, 48, 47, 55, 46, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47, 48, 47,
In Week 5 at Gessling Stadium, Carnegie Mellon played host to the visiting Presidents. Senior wide receiver Cody Hurst caught a 55-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter. And senior Nick Murgo returned an interception for a 51-yard touchdown to put the Presidents ahead 14-0, 2/3 of the way through the second quarter. CMU got on the board with under 1 minute remaining in the first half on a 23-yard touchdown reception. The point after failed, so W&J took a 14-6 lead into intermission. The Tartans got the ball to start the second half and marched 46 yards before missing a 44-yard field goal attempt. CMU's next drive ended with a short punt, which W&J was able to turn into points in just 4 plays. Freshman running back E.J. Thompson capped the drive with a 19-yard scoring rush. The first of his career on his first carry of the game, making the score 20-6. CMU struck back on the ensuing possession, marching 52 yards on 8 plays. On their first play from scrimmage of the fourth quarter, Carnegie Mellon fumbled. W&J again capitalized on the turnover, going 57 yards in 9 plays, which ended with a 2-yard scoring rush by Vickless. At 9 minutes 27 seconds of the fourth quarter, the score now 27-13. W&J held CMU to a 3-and-out, but was forced to punt on its next possession as well. With 2 minutes 49 seconds to play, CMU quarterback Alex Klein ran in from 6 yards out to cut the margin to 27-20. The onside kick was recovered by the Carnegie Mellon kicker after deflecting off the President. The red and black defense turned up the pressure on the Tartans after that, As Murgo sacked Klein for a 9-yard loss on the first play, and then pressure forced a pair of incompletions on the next 2 plays. On 4th down, an illegal forward pass cost CMU a loss of down and turnover on downs, giving W&J the ball back with 1 minute 44 seconds to play. The final play saw Rouse take the snap, run backwards for the final ticks, and slide down when the clock hit zeros. W&J held off the late 4th quarter rally to remain undefeated with the final score 27-20. On the road again next weekend, the Presidents travel to Bethany.
27,
26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1!
Week 6, Bethany, West Virginia. The winless Bison hosting the undefeated Presidents. Trailing 7-0 after Bethany scored on the opening drive of the game, Rouse hit Barnes from 3 yards out, which was set up in part by 20-plus yard receptions by junior wide receiver Brandon Toy and Barnes. The Presidents held a 14-7 lead after 1 quarter, thanks to a 4-yard touchdown pass to Barnes from Rouse at 1 minute 39 seconds of the period. The teams traded turnovers early in the second quarter, with W&J throwing an interception and Bethany doing the same on the first play of its drive.
Go, D. Get that, pick that.
The Presidents, however, fumbled on the first play of the ensuing possession to give Bethany the ball back at the 47-yard line. After a defensive stop for each team, the Presidents took over at midfield. The third play of the drive saw Zubik execute a one-handed catch that he took the distance for a 52-yard score. To give W&J the lead for good. On the opening drive of the second half, W&J marched 74 yards in 13 plays, chewing up 5 minutes 8 seconds of clock, and capped off by a 15-yard touchdown reception by Toy.
Touchdown, Washington, Jefferson.
Bethany's third play from scrimmage of the next drive was intercepted by sophomore defensive lineman Jeffrey Oxner. Senior running back Justin Vickless scored from 4 yards out. And the Presidents went up 35-14 with 7 minutes 23 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Oh, come on,
The first 4 plays of the fourth quarter were rushed by freshman running back E.J. Thompson, with the final play being a 9-yard carry into the end zone. The score now 42-14. Bethany's second play of the next possession was intercepted by senior defensive back O'Shea Anderson. Rouse found Barnes for 10 yards on the first play, and the next 2 plays were 5-yard rushes by sophomore running back Jordan West, resulting in a 49-14 lead by W&J, which would stand for the final score. As a team, the Presidents gained 469 yards of total offense. W&J also did not punt in the game, the first time that has happened since September 13, 2008. W&J improves to 6-0 overall and 4-0 in the conference, and will host Westminster for homecoming next.
Practice 49. Here we go.
48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 44, 43, 42, 41, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1!
Homecoming at Cameron Stadium, and the Presidents welcomed the visiting Titans of Westminster. Both teams 4-0 thus far in conference play. The Titans scored 14 points in the first quarter on passes of 8 and 88 yards to lead by a 14-0 count after 15 minutes. W&J got on the board at the 11-minute 31-second mark of the second quarter when senior cornerback O'Shea Anderson intercepted Colombo and raced 72 yards for a score, 14-7. Westminster answered with a score of their own, but the Presidents brought the halftime margin to 21-13 when senior tight end Jake Cullen hauled in a 4-yard pass from Rouse with 4 minutes 36 seconds left in the second quarter.
Rouse's pass is complete to number 15, Jake Collins, for a W&J touchdown.
W&J marched 78 yards in 14 plays, lasting 5 minutes, 5 seconds, on its first possession of the second half. Capped off by a 3-yard rush by Thompson to get within 21-19. After the 2-point conversion failed. A pair of field goals by Westminster were the only remaining scores of the third quarter, as they extended their lead to 27-19 after 3 periods. W&J forced overtime when Rouse found senior running back Justin Vickless from 3 yards out, just inside the front corner of the end zone.
Rouse's pass is complete to Justin Vickless for a W&J touchdown.
And freshman running back E.J. Thompson rammed his way in for the 2-point conversion, knotting the score at 27-27 with 8 minutes 44 seconds left in regulation.
E.J. Thompson in on the 2-point conversion.
Westminster had a Hail Mary batted down at the goal line as time ran out in regulation to force the overtime period. In overtime, senior wide receiver Cody Hurst caught a 12-yard touchdown pass from sophomore quarterback Jacob Adams to put the Presidents ahead 34-27. Westminster then went on a 9-play scoring drive, bringing them within a point. Opting to go for the win, the Titans lined up for 2. Paul Colombo scrambled under W&J pressure and rolled to his right, only to have his pass attempt knocked down by senior linebacker Zach Walker, giving Washington and Jefferson the 34-33 overtime win. The Presidents improved to 7-0 on the season and 5-0 in the conference. They travel to Latrobe next to take on St. Vincent.
Let's do our countdown with the president. Let's go. 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 35, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 19, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Washington and Jefferson looked to continue its undefeated season with a visit to Chuck Noll Field at St. Vincent. Senior running back Justin Vickles started the scoring when he went into the end zone from 4 yards out at the 10-minute, 16-second mark of the first quarter. St. Vincent answered that score with a field goal after a 10-play, 62-yard drive that was capped off with the 35-yard kick. It took W&J just 9 plays and 4 minutes 10 seconds to stretch the lead out to 14-3 as Adams hit senior wide receiver Jesse Zubik on a 34-yard score for the latter's 12th touchdown of the season and 49th of his storied career. Neither team was able to score in the second quarter as a steady rain fell in Latrobe, while the Presidents took a 14-3 lead into halftime. On W&J's second possession of the third quarter, the lead was extended to 21-3 when senior quarterback Matt Heslin rushed in from 2 yards out at 7 minutes 9 seconds. It would go down as the last points of the game, as W&J held the ball for more than 10 minutes of the fourth quarter to wind out the clock.
Off with the keeper, spotlight number 92, Lisa.
Senior cornerback O'Shea Anderson picked off a late pass in the end zone with 1 minute 41 seconds on the clock to seal the victory. Week 9 in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, and W&J looked to continue its undefeated season against Geneva. After the two teams exchanged punts on their first possessions, Geneva struck first with a 32-yard field goal at 8 minutes 18 seconds of the first quarter. W&J then responded with a 15-play, 65-yard drive that chewed off 4 minutes 52 seconds and was capped off by a 26-yard field goal of their own at 3 minutes 25 seconds of the period. W&J struck twice in the second quarter, both on rushes by West from 5 and 1 yard out. A short punt by the Presidents with under a minute left in the half allowed Geneva to strike for a score before halftime, making it 17-10 through the first 30 minutes of play.
Let's go!
The third play of the fourth quarter saw West score for the third time of the day, this time from 3 yards, as W&J stretched the lead to 24-10 with 14 minutes to play.
Come on, track that guy down.
W&J tacked on another score with 1 minute 10 seconds to go. When freshman running back E.J. Thompson scampered in from 23 yards. With the victory, the Presidents remain unbeaten at 9-0, with a 7-0 mark in the conference. The win also marks the 137th in 15 seasons at the helm. W&J will conclude the regular season the following week against Waynesburg.
31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 51, 29, 87, 60, 54, 50, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In their final game of the regular season, W&J hosted Waynesburg in the 2017 edition of the Pack Backyard Brawl. Sophomore quarterback Jacob Adams hit Zubik 3 times on the 4-play opening drive, capped by a 4-yard score that included receptions of 18 and 35 yards as well.
Is complete to Jefferson for a Washington President touchdown.
During Waynesburg's second drive of the game, senior defensive lineman Matt Gerting sacked the Yellow Jackets quarterback in the end zone for a safety.
That Doherty is sacked by Matt Gerting.
Let's go,
And the Presidents are awarded.
Following the free kick by Waynesburg, Adams found senior wide receiver Cody Hurst from 7 yards out to push the lead to 16-0.
Now the first quarter.
Another 3 and out by the visitors led to W&J getting the ball back with 27 seconds left, where Adams and Zubik connected for a 66-yard catch and run as time expired in the first quarter. W&J extended the lead to 29-0 when sophomore running back Jordan West capped a 78-yard drive with a 1-yard plunge. The next time the Presidents got the ball, wide receiver Brandon Toy was rewarded with an 11-yard scoring grab. To make it 35-0. Waynesburg's first play from scrimmage on its possession led to senior cornerback O'Shea Anderson picking off his pack-leading 5th interception of the season and returning it 28 yards for his 2nd touchdown, making the final score 42-0. The President's defense was stout all day, holding the Yellow Jackets to just 164 yards of total offense and 2.7 yards per play, pitching the first shutout since September 22, 2012. The victory gives the Presidents the program's first league title since 2014 and the conference's automatic qualifier to the NCAA Division III championship. On top of marking the 25th league title in NCAA appearance in program history, the win clinched the 13th undefeated regular season all-time for W&J. The victory was also the 138th in the 15-year head coaching career of Mike Sirianni, moving him into sole possession of first place on the W&J career wins list.
Undefeated, baby! 7-0!
The first round of the 2017 NCAA Division III playoffs was held at Cameron Stadium as Washington and Jefferson played host to the 9-1 Blue Jays of Johns Hopkins.
From the bottom of your heart, every play, you seniors, you better do that. You juniors, sophomores, freshmen, you owe that to these seniors. Every play, keep your composure. Let's go if we can go 1-0, win a playoff game. Let's go.
The President struck first at the 10-minute 29-second mark of the first quarter with a 16-yard pass from Alex Rouse to Jesse Zubik. Capping a 7-play, 45-yard drive. The Blue Jays got on the board a minute later with a 39-yard field goal. Then W&J closed out the first quarter with a Jordan West 2-yard touchdown run.
Let's go!
The only points in the second quarter came by way of a Johns Hopkins field goal, this one from 26 yards out. W&J led 14-6 at halftime. But Johns Hopkins was not out of it yet. At 4 minutes 43 seconds of the third quarter, the Blue Jays scored a touchdown and successful two-point conversion to tie the game at 14. A missed field goal by Hopkins late in the third quarter gave W&J the ball at its own 32, and the Presidents went 68 yards on 4 plays. Before Rouse found senior wide receiver Cody Hurst in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. To give the lead back to the red and black, 21-14. The next 14 points came from the visitors in the fourth quarter, though, as John Hopkins answered with a 74-yard touchdown drive to tie the game. And then an interception on defense, which they turned into a 21-yard rushing touchdown, giving them the first lead of the game with 12 minutes 10 seconds to play. W&J was not phased, though, needing just 7 plays to march 68 yards and take 2 minutes 51 seconds off the clock before Rouse found Zubik for a 12-yard touchdown with 9 minutes 14 seconds remaining in the game. With the score tied at 28 midway through the fourth quarter, senior cornerback O'Shea Anderson stopped a Hopkins drive in the red zone with his 7th interception of the season, which is the 5th most in program history. Pinned inside its own 5-yard line, W&J was able to move the ball out to the 25, but was eventually forced to punt, which gave Johns Hopkins the ball back at its own 38-yard line with 5 minutes 39 seconds remaining. Starting at their own 30-yard line now, W&J moved the ball close enough to attempt a field goal. From 46 yards out, Mauricio Garibay booted the kick through to put the home team back ahead. It was the 5th longest field goal in program history and the longest since 1995. Johns Hopkins got the ball back with 52 seconds remaining at its own 27-yard line. And the first 3 plays of that possession ended in sacks as senior defensive end Tom Mara posted a pair on 1st and 2nd down. And then senior defensive lineman Freddie McKissick dropped the Blue Jays quarterback on third down. With no timeouts left, Hopkins rushed to the line and was only able to get 13 of the 30 yards they needed for a first down, giving the ball back to W&J and sealing the victory. The Presidents advanced to the second round to take on Frostburg State.
31, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 18, 17, 16, 17, 14, 15, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
Saturday afternoon, Thanksgiving weekend. The Presidents matched up with Frostburg State in the second round of the NCAA Division III playoffs. W&J wasted little time in striking first, just 1 minute 27 seconds into the game, with a 6-play, 70-yard drive that was capped by a 21-yard touchdown pass from senior quarterback Alex Rouse to senior wide receiver Cody Hurst. The next 3 scores were by the visitors, as they took a 17-7 lead early in the second quarter. A 27-yard field goal by senior kicker Josh Natt at the 7-minute 6-second mark of the second quarter made the score 17-10 at the halfway point. A Bobcat score on the opening possession of the second half extended the visitors' lead to 24-10. W&J answered right back on their next drive when Rouse connected with Hurst for the second time in the game. This time from 4 yards out at 9 minutes 24 seconds. W&J got the ball back on the second play of Frostburg's ensuing possession when Anderson picked off his second pass of the day. But the Bobcats returned the favor on the second play of W&J's drive and returned it to the President's 5-yard line, converting it into a field goal 3 plays later. Now trailing 41-17, Rouse connected with Zubik from 9 yards out and got W&J within 41-23. Despite the loss, W&J closes out an incredible season in 2017, finishing with an 11-1 overall record, the 6th time in program history that the Presidents reached 11 victories. Washington and Jefferson players and coaches have a lot to be proud of as they look back at their journey this year and the memories they shared along the way.
I feel like new sunglasses, like a brand new pair of jeans. I